What's his name? Isn't he a hauler?
8:15, yeah.
The fire meeting.
Okay, it's 8:15. We're live. Boom. You got new mics, so
They sound
you have to
loud.
play with it. We get little feedback every now and then. Okay. Oh. Okay. How's that? Okay. All right. Roll call. Let it show that everybody's, Doug is here. Good man. Everyone's here. We need a motion to approve the agenda
Motion to approve the agenda.
by Doak, second by,
I'll make a motion.
by Joe. All right. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
All right.
Okay, and now we would need a motion to approve the minutes of the December 9th meeting. So moved by Doug, seconded by Scott. All those in favor,
I got a question. I think, I was reading through it, just saw the number of rescue calls. There was a point made about it being lower, but I think they're inaccurate. The number is the same for both 2019 and 20.
Where are you referring to? please?
Page 3, item E.
Are you talking about under item E?
Yeah, under sheriffs, I believe it was, yeah.
A little over halfway down.
Yeah,
I think what it was when COVID first started, calls dropped, but then they picked back up.
So Sheriff Jackson reported that rescue calls are down. 2019, there were 1,036, and in 2020, there were 1,036. I
Oh,
assume there was a different number there, just for the record.
you're probably right, but I can't tell you what that number would be.
I can't tell you, but we can get an exact number on that for that period of time. I think it's just a typo, to be honest with you.
You probably is, you're right.
So we'll look at that when I get back. We
Okay,
can change it in the February meeting if you'd like.
okay. Any other corrections? Okay, not hearing any. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
I
Opposed? Motion carried. Public comment.
John, I'm not sure, Chairman, I'm not sure if this is the place to introduce this individual, but I'd like to before we get kicked off into the minutes and so forth.
Okay,
It's my honor to bring in front of you today is our new Lieutenant Eric Pishek. Eric has been with the department for 20 plus years as an investigator. And recently he went through the hiring process and promotional process for the Sheriff's Department. And he'll be replacing Lieutenant Vaser, who moves to Chief Deputy on Saturday the 23rd, where Eric will take over the Operations Lieutenant for the department also that same day. Eric has been a real stellar part of our department. One of our best investigators, I think, in the history of Kewaunee County. He's worked homicide cases, sexual assaults, and so forth. He has a real knack of leadership, and he brings that to us with much experience. It's really a true honor to have Eric on board as our new lieutenant.
okay. Welcome. I don't think I've met you before, but it's hard to say because that damn mask kind of. So look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
All right. Tracy, you're up.
So the first part is the 2020 budget to date. Did anyone have any questions in regards to the current budget information they received on emergency management. Okay. The review of upcoming training and exercises. Currently, I'm working on a virtual EOC activation for later in February. So that is something that our office is working on just to get set up, and that is also part of my plan of work. So it needs to get done. Next is update on sirens. I really don't have too much to update on that. I was contacted by an entity that does do siren maintenance to get me their information. So when iPause becomes primary, and if Point Beach is giving away, selling, whatever, how that works, sirens to municipalities, I have additional information to give to those municipalities. Brief on COVID-19. So our office continues to do the mortuary survey 3 times a week. We do the virtual EOC update once a month. And now just recently we are working on the planning for potential vaccination clinics for the general public. So we're just starting that process. The other is virtual EOC brief update. So we held that on yesterday. There was not too much to update. Everybody is pretty much status quo with how things have been for the past few months. Other than what I've just mentioned.
Okay. You had virtual meeting yesterday, correct?
Correct, yesterday.
Everything went good?
Yep.
Okay.
There was very few people on there, so it went pretty quickly.
Okay. Any questions for Tracy at all? All right. Matt said this might be a short meeting, so he may be correct on that.
He's correct.
All right. Fill us in on what you got, Dave.
Okay, on the budget update from 2020, I think you all received a copy of it. And it's basically the same that was reported out in December. All we're waiting for now is the payroll to be deducted off this. The true mark of our 2020 budget will be in the next meeting on February. I talked to the finance director, and Paul indicated that we're going to be between $60,000 to $100,000 to the good on the 2020 budget. What he's going to request is that money be referred back into the Next Gen 911 grant to offset our costs, our portion of that, so it doesn't come out of the general fund or so forth. So with COVID and so forth, I think this budget was surprisingly good, if you can call it that. But again, we're in good shape with the 2020 budget. And again, moving into 2021 with the new schedules, again, working with those and other things that we have in place, I think we'll be right on point throughout the year for 2021 with our budget.
Okay.
Review of overtime. I issued each of you a copy of 2020, the end result of our overtime in 2019. And again, just to touch on a few of the topics, if you look at the second one down, holidays were up a little bit. That is something that we have no control of. Again, that's a contract related issue. If schedules land on a holiday where we have 3 or 4 guys on, that's where that's going to be more hours throughout a year. You might see it up one year, down the next. So again, in 2019, you see it at 588. This year at 718. It just the way the schedule falls and how the overtime falls for itself. Training, we're up a little bit this year, but we had to send 3 people to jail school. Not much, but we're up a little bit. Investigations, you can see we had a big jump, 80 plus hours. We had 4 major incidents. We had a murder-suicide that took us quite a bit of time on that. We had a house fire that we had a person perish in the fire, and we had some overdose death-related investigations. And those took a period of time to raise our overtime level in investigations. Again, that's a hit and miss. That's part of doing business. Meetings were down. We went from 104 hours in 2019 down to 36. Again, we didn't meet that much because of COVID. ERU, we went way down from 126 hours down to 14. Again, we just didn't have the calls, and that again, throwing a dart at the wall to see, do we have calls this year or don't we? City assists, you can see we're down again, 52 hours. We had no fair, we had no shandy days. So again, those hours that's probably because of COVID. Saturation patrol, we have a large increase, but again, as indicated in previous meetings, that's 100% covered by grant funding by the state of Wisconsin. MAG unit, we're way down 141 to 3 hours, 138-hour difference. And our current operations right now are drug investigators out on FMLA, and he's been out since August. It's not that we stopped working on drugs, it's just that a lot of things went to bed with COVID. So again, that's a part of that issue. And then finally, the scheduling of overtime. Even with COVID, you can see how we drastically dropped from scheduled overtime in the jail from 272 down to 128, 148 hours, 143-hour difference. So again, COVID was good to us, and sometimes it bit us in the backside. But that's basically our overtime in a nutshell. And I foresee, again, if everything goes with our complement of full-time officers, we have a full staff, our overtime should be in check again.
Okay.
Any questions on the overtime? All right, update on the facility study. Again, I have nothing to report out on that. I don't believe, John, there's much movement, if any.
No.
And then the census report, I did give you a copy of that. Lieutenant Van Rum couldn't be here today, but he said if you have any questions, give him a call directly. He would answer any of those questions.
On that one, is it the top number that is the one we've been talking,
Yes.
that is the average?
That's the average.
That's the one we were tracking, okay.
Yes.
So how many are actually in the jail physically?
Right now, 21.
So
And-
it's
and
pretty
it's a-
much full.
So again, it's a balancing act. If we can get them out on monitor, we'll do it. Some of them you just can't do it. So.
How many do we have in other jails, Steve?
I'm guessing between 4 to 7, and that's an everyday variance also.
Okay.
Okay, there's on D, information regarding potential medical costs due to an inmate. We had kind of a situation that was facing us with an individual that's coming into our jail. The meds were going to cost us between $10,000 to $24,000 for just one individual because of his health issue. We were informed when he checked in, he stopped taking his meds about 6 months ago. So we're not obligated to provide him with those meds. He took it upon himself saying, I'm not taking them anymore. And that left us off from that large expense. So knock on wood, that escaped us. So he'll be with us till February. And then at that point, he'll be released from jail. So
Do we have to purchase the meds while he's in our facility?
yes.
Why?
If he has no health insurance, he's not on Badger Care, Social Security, or anything like that, we are responsible for that. Now, we can petition the state to have us reimbursed, and sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But it is our responsibility. Once they're in our custody, we have to take full responsibility for that inmate if they can't afford it. I didn't make the rules.
I mean, isn't that a case where we should really look at, maybe we don't want them in our jail?
And that's a good point, and we do, but there's certain ones we just can't let them out because they jump bail. We have arrested them twice for escape or whatever, something that just doesn't fit right. So again, sometimes we just have to bite the bullet. This one, we're doing everything in our power to not keep them in our facility, and other facilities won't take them. But fortunately, we dodged it.
Okay.
Okay, staffing updates. Right now, we recently put 2 offers of employment to 2 individuals. The backgrounds are being done right now. We're very excited about these 2 individuals. One will replace my position when I leave, and the other one will replace a deputy who resigned 2 months ago. The backgrounds are right now being completed by our investigative division, and it looks very good for the future of these 2 individuals. We have high hopes that they'll go through with sailing colors through our FTO program. So again, we're looking forward to that. And those names will be released in next meeting. Chelsea Broomhall started Recruit Academy on January, I think it was January 6th, and she'll be in there for a period of time. It's really funny when we're doing our backgrounds on our 2 individuals at the tech, the instructors said, this Chelsea that's going to school right now for Recruit Academy, where'd she come from? We explained. She's right now leading the pack. She's the team leader for the department or that Recruit Academy. Just glowing reviews. So that's nice to hear that. Chelsea's a wonderful officer. FMLA, we have one issue going on right now. It should be resolved here in the next 2 weeks. It's been about a 4-week venture with him. I'm sorry, we do have another FMLA, but that's been going on since August. COVID. Right now to date, we have 2 people out on COVID related issues. We have a total of 12 that have been affected by this throughout the course of this pandemic. 6 in the jail, 5 on patrol, and 1 administrative. Again, as soon as we get the call that they're tested positive or they're showing symptoms, we tell them to go get tested. And then we work with Cindy on the length of time that they have to be out. So again, it's going well. And then we had the good news yesterday from Cindy that we will receive the vaccination next week, Wednesday. And she's setting up those times. But unfortunately, not everyone wants to take the shot. They want to go ahead, have it. I'll wait and see how it goes. So we have about 9 people in our department that will take the shot, and the other ones decided to decline at this time.
You probably don't want to put everybody in at one time anyways.
Which is good. I mean, and the group that's going over there on Wednesday is a patrol, jail, administrative, secretarial, administrative assistants. I'm sorry, Mary. So it's a good combination of people, so we don't all get hit at one time.
Okay.
Cross our fingers.
So how many what percentage will be vaccinated then with that?
9 out of 35.
I know 35, that's all that want to take it.
Yep. And Eric and I are one of those 2. So, Mary. So if they come back next month, they don't look so good. It didn't work out so well. So.
My wife had it 2 weeks ago and she ain't sick yet, so.
Oh, good. I've only heard of 2 people with a reaction, and it was just little symptoms here and there. So
2 daughters that had it. One said she was just a little fatigued.
So that's our staffing update. And if you have any questions on those couple items, I'd be happy to entertain any questions.
Any questions?
Dave, last night we were informed that Red River Park's got a problem with parking. Do you know anything about that? They're parking on both sides of the road and into the residences and out on DK and is there a concern about, say there's a rescue squad call out on the bay, like they had in New Franken? Is there something that can be done? Because I don't think the fire trucks could get through according to the way they were parked. So
Eric, I'm not sure if you're aware of that, or have you seen that?
It's a yearly problem, an issue that needs to be addressed, and it is the season now to address it before it gets really out of hand with the ice fishermen down there. So hopefully here in the next week, we'll talk with the sheriff, and he usually does coordinate some type of plan, especially to keep that driveway, clear and keep the fishermen off other people's properties.
I guess the chairman from Red River requested no parking signs, and Puplum and Todd took care of it, put some signs up, but I guess it doesn't work.
No, I know 2 of our officers have enforced some citations, and I know they've been going there and checking it out. So in the last 5 days, I probably would say that it's got better. So let's see where it goes from here. We'll get something out for extra patrol also. I know they're doing it right now, but I'm not sure if every officer is going up there. I know there's 2 that are taking it upon themselves to make sure they're enforcing it. So let's see where it's at. If you hear more, give us a call.
Yeah, well, we had our parks meeting last night and we were told about it, so.
That's, I thought there's some citations issued. Is that correct, Mary?
I think there might have been, yes.
Parking tickets?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They also posted it on Facebook. I saw it was posted on our Facebook page.
Okay.
too.
So hopefully I'll correct the behavior.
Yeah, expensive fish, huh?
I could go buy some for that.
Thanks.
I got a question.
Yeah,
Anybody burns in our town, they're supposed to get a burning permit from me. And I noticed on our report, there's people that are calling the sheriff's department requesting, calling in that they're burning, but they're not getting a permit for it.
Right.
Does dispatch ask them if,
They'll call up and say, I'm doing a controlled burn today. So if you see any smoke coming out of the area, but the dispatcher does not enforce, ordinances and so forth. So again, they'll tell us and we'll leave it at that. Then we'll notify the deputies that are on patrol, but they don't go and check and see if they have a permit. So
because we have one individual, he's burning garbage all the time. And he doesn't call me because I won't give him a permit.
right.
And he's calling you guys. And
Why don't we do this, Joe? If you see it again, call the sheriff's department and say this person is burning illegally. He does not have a permit. And we'll tell them to put it out. But I don't think we can enforce your ordinances. We can enforce state and county ordinances, but we can't enforce your municipal.
but the
or-
county has a burning ordinance, right?
I don't think that ever went through.
Yeah.
It did go through now.
Yeah, it
Okay.
did.
Yeah. So we can do that.
And he's been cited before.
All right.
Well, Josky said that time that they don't want to cite people, but then he can if it comes to be a problem.
Yeah.
When that ordinance went through, remember?
Yeah. I didn't know it went through. Sorry.
Yeah, I think last year, right?
It's like $100 first time offense and $200 next time.
Joe, do this. Give us a call and we'll send somebody out there.
Sure.
That's not a problem.
It's going on we've tried to get him to clean up and he doesn't respond. And he's just burning,
Well, that's always cleaning up.
but he brings more in. He keeps bringing more in. That's the problem.
Yeah. Just give us a call.
Our town tells people that call, the main reason is to call it in, so you don't get a passerby calling in on a cell phone.
Exactly.
So this way, if they have a report at that address, then they'll say, yes, we know about it. So that's the main reason for a burning permit in our town.
Right. And the only thing I'll give him a permit for anything is brush fire
Right.
anymore
Yeah.
because you can't burn anything else.
Yeah, that's all I put on there, brush, clean wood.
If we see that somebody's starting to pile up the garbage or things that will be illegal, I know officers have tried to prevent it before they torch the pile. And then once it gets torched, well, now you're getting the ticket.
Yeah.
But certainly, I know I've observed some people doing that, and I call, give them an opportunity not to burn the pile and dispose of it properly.
Mm-hmm.
And, so our officers do enforce it.
Give them John's number.
John won't take a container by this guy because I think he
he
owes
doesn't,
money.
he hasn't, no, he doesn't owe me anything yet. He just doesn't have any money.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's the same one we're talking about on 54 maybe.
Yep.
Yep.
Give us a call.
There's a few of those out there. Okay. Any other questions for Dave? All right. Our next meeting is scheduled February 10th here, 8:15. Proposed meeting would be March 10th, again here at 8:15. Is that gonna work for everybody?
Mhm.
Okay. Any travel requests or anything? All right, I really don't have any comments. Is there any other items that might come up as authorized by law? If there aren't, this has to be an almost record time for this meeting. That's what we get when we leave Matt home, you know. that.
There you go.
So I told Eric, I said, if he's not here, we'll go through this pretty quick.
I think I told him pretty much the same thing when I talked to him, so.
Just one thing, John,
Yeah.
this will be my last meeting, and I just want to tell you gentlemen and Tracy and Mary, thank you so much for the wonderful years with Kewaunee County. 18 years as a chief deputy has flown by, but it's just been a wonderful experience. 26 years being with the department, 18 as chief deputy, like I indicated. I couldn't ask for a better career, a better opportunity working for this agency. You don't know how I feel walking out this door. It's amazing. So I thank you guys. Thank you for your time and tolerating us, me. It's been one hell of a ride. I will always cherish it. It went by so fast and it was enjoyable. I'll miss this like life itself. It was an amazing career. So again, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you very much.
Thanks very much, Dave. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay. Hearing nothing else, we would need a motion to adjourn
So move.
by Scott,
Second.
seconded by Doak. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
I.